Watching Afternoon Live, I'm Ben Brown, reporting from Wiltshire on the M4, where there's been heavy snowfalls. The winter weather came in overnight, hitting large parts of southern England as Britain suffered its coldest night for 7 years. The freezing conditions have brought chaos on many roads as commuters try to get to work this morning. Hundreds of schools have been closed all day and rail services have been disrupted. Take extreme care, drive with caution, take everything nice and gentle, the throttle, the brake, the steering. The road is very, very treacherous indeed. My advice personally is to stay at home. And with the evening rush hour approaching, we'll have the very latest from our correspondents around the country.
I'm Rita Chakrabarti, also on our Afternoon Live. The mother of a 3-year-old girl has become the first person in the UK to be found guilty of female genital mutilation. The United States announces that it's suspending compliance with a key nuclear arms control agreement signed with the Soviet Union during the Cold War. Coming up here on Afternoon Live, all the sport with Hugh.
Where England are struggling to take wickets with just one so far on day 2 of their second test against West Indies in Antigua. Their hosts are now well beyond the 100 mark, the loss of just one batsman. We'll have more on the match later in the hour.
Thank you so much, Hugh. And Phil Avery has all the weather.
Disappointing news from sport, and the Pulteney Bridge here in Bath has looked cheerier in its history. These sort of conditions are still there to be had as we start the evening commute. I'll have all the details for you coming up in the next half an hour.
Many thanks, Phil. And also coming up, crowds of people brave the snow and freezing temperatures to see the Duke and Duchess of Sussex on a visit to the Bristol Old Vic Theatre, which is undergoing a £26 million restoration. Hello,
good evening. So just hold on. I will try and see what we can do here. Yeah. So it's just like that. Yeah. Very fine. Very good. Yeah. Hello. So Matthew, how are you doing? Hello, Matthew, can you hear me? Well, can you hear me? Hello, Matthew. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello, Matthew. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How about me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I just wasn't fast to accept the request for sound.
Okay. Yeah, I understand. So, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thanks. And you?
I'm doing excellent, thank you. What is new?
Maybe not, nothing's exactly new, but today I've got a difficult. On Wednesday, I've got a difficult day at school because we had two tests at the same day in physics and mathematics, and I'm glad to know that I received at last good marks for these tests, and maybe that's the most significant event of this week.
Okay. Very good. So can you see my screen?
I can see something, white with a little something like pencil in graphics.
All right. It's not about that.
Is it something?
No idea. Yeah, I will try. Yeah, I will try and do it. So,
yes. So now I see.
Yeah, I understand. Well, did you listen to the latest news from the BBC?
No, unfortunately, no.
Why?
Because I'm just became very little interested in international and political news over the last years.
This is not about international or political news. This is about the English language.
Yeah.
You have. I don't think that you have lots of opportunities to listen to the English speech. So please, every time, when I start my classes, I start with the BBC World News. Why? Because I want to discuss something with you. And you just didn't give me a chance to talk. Okay. So, you know nothing about the latest news in the world. We talked about your news. And how about the latest news in the world, in our country?
Latest.
Yeah.
I really don't know what to discuss.
Well, for me, what is interesting is, for example, a very unusual winter for the United States of America. Chicago, they have -30 now.
Oh, yeah, that's formidable.
And lots of schools have been closed because of this unusual weather. And very cold. It's also very cold in the United Kingdom. So I think that it might be interesting for you to know that. Okay, yeah. But how about the weather in your place?
The weather in my place is quite good for now, but for the next week they suppose that there will be also something like -30, -35 for the next week. And so it's going to be.
And what is the temperature when it is not allowed to visit schools, when the schools will be closed?
For 10th and 11th grade, as we were told yesterday for this occasion. The temperature is 32, minus 32 without wind and minus 30 with wind.
Okay, yeah, I understand. So now we will move to the big question. The big question today is I want you to talk about the musical instrument, which you kind of your favorite musical instrument. Can you think of it?
Frankly speaking, I didn't just think of it because I had no cause to think of it. But I'll try.
Please do.
My favorite musical instrument is maybe what can it be?
I can help you. Let it be your favorite instrument is violin.
Violin, yeah. So this is the plan.
What is that?
You're showing me the plan of answer on this topic.
When I'm going to show you something, I will definitely tell you about that. I'm just listening to you.
So, violin is my favorite type of musical instrument because it sounds appeal to me because they can change in a variety of tones. They are also very violins are also very attractive by sight. They look kind of aesthetical, and so when a person plays violin, this person needs a lot of professionalism for this, because when I see a person who plays violin, I can definitely say that it's professional of its kind. If I can hear that the instrument is played well.
Okay, good. So let's talk a little bit about the shape of the violin. What kind of a shape is that?
I'm not sure I can describe the shape, but it's something like ellipse with I don't know how to tell how does this sound in English, but it's some not rod, but what is narrow long thing. Yeah, it's just an ellipse wooden thing with narrow long thing with strings, and you play the strings by attaching the other thing, also narrow and long, to these strings and make tradition sounds.
Well,
that's very
yeah, I wouldn't agree that violin is of the ellipse, like you said.
No, it's so to say, because I just can't describe such a complicated form in English.
Well, why I opened the book for you, just to show you that this is not what I want you to talk about. This is the regular exam. So when you say at the irregular exam that I don't know what to say, then you know what grade you're going to have.
Yeah.
Please never tell these things that you don't know what to say. If you don't know, then you will get the unsatisfactory grade and kiss you goodbye. Yeah, like they say. Okay,
So
please.
I need to follow the plan that I see at the screen.
Again, if I want you to follow the plan, I will tell you definitely. What I want you to do is I want you to explain me the shape of the violin.
So
okay, let's switch into Russian then. Describe the shape of the violin in Russian.
So форма скрипки или виолончели, но в принципе они отличаются только размером. Это некая вытянутый, ну, условно скажем, овал, хотя это скорее уже некий скругленный просто. I just can't explain with the basic geometry means.
Одну минуту, Матвей, вы не можете по-русски объяснить?
С некоторой... So, вытянутая форма с некоторыми как будто прогибами, зауженная посередине, если я не ошибаюсь, да. It's just kind of strange.
Хорошо. Дальше, пожалуйста, на русском объясните, что у вас там было вытянутая одна штука и что там была вытянутая другая штука.
So I just want to ensure.
По-русски, я прошу, Матвей, пожалуйста, по-русски.
So, я должен сказать, что основная часть этой скрипки деревянная, она состоит ее можно упрощенно описать как овал с некоторыми вырезами посередине. А также на основной части крепится длинная часть, которая, если я не ошибаюсь, гитара называется гриф, я не уверен, как она называется у скрипок. И на ней уже расположены струны, и на этих струнах играют с помощью некоего инструмента, называемого смычком.
Okay, so that's very good. All right, so the problem with what you were saying were that you didn't know the word for the word grief. The word is neck, just like shaya. Neck. For
neck.
Every musical,
Yeah.
For every musical instrument, like string musical instrument, this part of this instrument is called the neck. Okay.
Yeah.
Then the piece with the help of which you produce the sound is called the bow.
Bow.
Yeah, it's the same idea like an arrow and the bow.
Yeah. I see.
What is an arrow and a bow?
Лук и стрелы.
Yeah, so the idea of смычок is the same idea in English like a bow. Okay. So then what I want you to talk about is please, yeah, how do they produce the sound with the help of the violin?
They produce the sound by contacting main strings with a special string which is located in the bow. Yeah, and managing at the same time strings with players' fingers in different ways.
So what do they do with the help of the fingers?
They press on different strings to produce the sounds of the required tone.
Yeah, I agree, but they do not only press the different strings, they also do some other movements.
Yeah, but I'm not very informed about it, and
about what?
About the ways of.
Let's go back to Russian. Как производится звук на скрипке?
Ну, это практически то же самое, что я сейчас сказал на английском. Звук на скрипке производится путем ну, не сказать, что прикосновения, но каким-то образом контактирование струн, расположенных на самой скрипке, со струной, расположенной на смычке. Также во время операции со смычком в то же самое время музыкант каким-то образом работает со струнами, расположенными на грифе.
Каким образом? Точно так же, как на гитаре?
Наверняка. I just wasn't
на русском на гитаре как играют?
Нет, не нажимая на струны, а касаясь их с неким усилием, то бишь, что называется, перебирание или другие операции с этими.
Хорошо. Одной рукой перебирают струны, а второй рукой, которая на грифе, что делают?
Второй рукой именно что нажимают на них.
В каком месте?
В месте ближе к концу грифа, но не обычно, не обязательно.
Только в одном?
Нет.
На каком принципе перебегают?
Есть несколько обозначенных даже вроде как на гитаре мест, которые доступны для того, чтобы...
Хорошо. Как называются эти?
I don't know. Я не знаю.
Interesting. That's all right. Yeah, I understand.
So, I wasn't involved in music in any way at any time, so I wasn't also able to spectate the playing of on musical instruments, including the violin, on the right distance.
Матвей, вы вот это вот все будете рассказывать на экзамене, хорошо?
Нет.
Зачем это рассказываете? То, что вы не знаете, вы не занимались, вы не разбираетесь. Если у вас, я вам еще раз, я уже по-русски вам повторяю, если вы считаете, что на экзамене можно говорить, я не разбираюсь, я не знаю, Я не
No,
видел.
I,
Вы считаете, одну
I
минуту,
want
вы считаете, что это возможно на экзамене?
yeah, I don't think that this is very common and needed at the exam, but in the exam. But I try to explain.
Смотрите на заголовок, пожалуйста, смотрите на заголовок. Вы слышали такой экзамен IELTS?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Я спрашиваю, вы слышали этот экзамен?
Да, я о нем слышал.
Ну, вы понимаете, что я никогда ничего не придумываю. Ну, что поделаешь, вот один из самых популярных, один из самых распространенных экзаменов, вы считаете, что я к вам придираюсь?
Нет, я так не считаю.
Хорошо. Okay, let's go on. So, describe the sound of the violin.
The sound of the violin can differ in a very wide range, but the violins also usually play high tones, which can go extremely high. You know that it's almost.
Here you have a question of what it sounds like. It's a musical instrument. We are talking about the violin. So what does it sound like?
It sounds. Its sound is very high. It cannot. Should I compare with any sound of everyday life or something like this? Because I just think that the sound is of a high tone is just a characteristic that is quite understandable.
Okay. Перейдем на русский, пожалуйста. На что похож звук скрипки?
Звук скрипки очень высокий.
Я спрашиваю, на что он похож?
На скрип несмазанной двери, но это уже совсем как-то слишком.
Ну, я не возражаю, вы поймите.
И я должен его сравнить.
Пожалуйста, по-английски теперь. Звук несмазанный, скрип несмазанной двери.
So I can compare the tone of the violin with the sound an old door makes when you try to open it.
Ну, скрип несмазанной двери.
I don't know the word for скрип. I don't know the words for несмазанный. So I may look up them.
Yeah, you please do if you want to have a look.
So, creak of the squeak of unoiled door.
Unoiled, yeah, you can say unoiled. Maybe you heard the word lubricated.
Yeah.
Unlubricated, yeah. All right, very good. So I think that it was not that difficult to say unoiled. Yeah, I understand that probably the word creepy sound or squeaking, we usually say squeaking sound.
Squeaking.
Yeah, squeaking. Yeah. So, but what are the strategies for you to work? So first of all, let's go. Can you see my Google?
Yeah.
Okay, I just asked Google about the shape of a violin. Okay, let's go, and I don't know. So, how the violin got its shape. Okay, yeah. How the violin got its shape. Okay, let's try and see. I have no idea. Really evolved for prominent researchers. Violin depend on the first violin. Like the study found the shape that is also studied and so studied. When and where it was married also heavily the instrument that produced the shape that they were violin making also. Yeah, I can.
It's just so basic for all people, so they maybe don't need to describe it in such a detailed way. Violin is violin, and that's kind of some image in your imagination, not some combination of geometrical structures. However, it's also my opinion. Oh, yeah, it's shape and sound.
Hold on. Study looks at the. Yeah. All right. So, see first of all the arching patterns. The arching patterns. Arching. What is arch?
Arch is arca.
Duga. The arching pattern. Yeah. The arching pattern. Okay. So, but see, and yeah, it's just a prompt for you, a hint. But asking other students, I didn't. You are not the first student to talk about that. Well, first of all, the easiest answer, what I heard from another student, and you were very close to it. The easiest answer was that the shape of a violin is very close to the shape of a guitar.
Yeah, comparison, you know.
Of course, but the next student, she did another comparison. She said that the shape of a violin is very close to the shape of a pear. You understand the word pear?
The shape of what? Pear?
Pear. It's a fruit. It's not apple, but it's
pear. Yeah, I understand now.
So what is pear? Say it in Russian.
Pear is grusha.
Yeah. So you see, you can compare it with the shape of a pear. Okay.
Yeah. So not to emphasize in any geometrical concepts, but to compare it with other musical instruments or objects from everyday life.
Absolutely. Yeah, and we are just talking about some strategies, and I think that you can think of, after the class, you can think of some other strategies, and you can bring up some ideas and just tell me your ideas about, I don't know, I'm not giving you the answers because it's just the answers from other students, and if you ask me, probably I would be in the same very hard position, having a very hard time answering the question. I'm just trying to make you think, to make you talk, and to make it a little bit challenging for you. That's it. So yeah, and you see, another thing is, which is in my understanding is very important, is when you said ellipse, I don't think that this is a good way, because I think that arching is much better. And you can explain why arching should be very different, because the shape should be comfortable for like the guitar. The shape should be comfortable, for example, to be on one knee, and then to be aligned very comfortably so that it will not move when the musician is playing it. I don't know, that's up to you to decide. So then about the sound, what I think is you should have in mind that musical instruments, like any other things in nature, they have kind of a processes working. Like you know, that if you think of the orchestra, you have very different types of musical instruments. Like, let's talk about two types. So you were supposed to say that this is a string type of instrument, strings instrument, right? And strings instrument, they are very different from, let's say, the woodwind instruments, or very different from trumpets. Why? Because when I ask you about the sound, in the trumpet, the wind or the air produces the sound. But in the violin, it's the obstacle. When you rub or when you move the bow against the strings, then you have this friction, which is absolutely different from the airflow, air passage in the. And if you think about the trumpet, you can compare this sound with the wind, because this is like air moving, air passage. Okay. Yeah, you want to say something?
Yeah, I want to ask you a question. Have you heard any there articles in my speeches, and do I pronounce them right?
Articles?
Articles are there, and the sound like this and something like that.
Well, see, the only thing which we ask usually is to have the communication, which means if I understand what you're saying, I will not just you know, doubt. I will not correct you. I understood what you're saying, so that's enough for me.
So thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions?
Maybe no other questions.
Because it's about time. You know, the free of charge classes on this platform are only for 40 minutes. So the time will be up in 2 minutes, as I can understand. So that is why you'd better think of good questions. And do not forget that I think that that was a great lesson for you and for me, because I just loved it. I love this question about the shape of the violin, and how can you, what does it sound like? I just loved it. I don't know, maybe you didn't like it, but for me, it was excellent question.
So thanks for your explanations on how to complete these tasks, because I just wasn't ready for us answering such questions, because I don't have any experience with musical instruments, and just didn't know how to answer this, but thanks you for the tips, for example, with comparisons of shapes, with other comparisons on sound. It's all about comparisons as I can get.
Right, absolutely. And so the meaning is that it doesn't matter whether the topic is about musical instruments, or next time, you know, it can be about pets. And probably not you, but another student will tell, I've never had any pets at home, so I have no idea how to take care of animals or whatever. So it doesn't matter. Then if I ask you in Russian, even if you never had an animal, probably you will find some, you know, some proper words, some proper sentences to explain something in Russian. You will not say that when somebody asks you about the animals, the pets, you will not tell this person that, sorry, I never had pets, and that is why I will not talk about this topic.
Yeah, I understand this, but the problem was for me that I also lacked the needed words for this, because these words are kind of professional and unknown for me.
Yeah,
they were unknown for me.
Yeah,
but
I understand. Yeah, probably the word bow and the word you know, neck. I think, yeah, I think probably those were difficult, but at the same time, it was possible for you not to say that thing, but you could have said like a stick. It's not difficult to find the word stick. And about the neck, that's a good comparison again for the guitar and for the violin. And talking about the squeaking sound, see, you found these words in the Russian language, so probably it was possible for you to do the same in the English. Yeah, I don't know, but today they have 42 minutes already. I don't know. We can start doing the exercises. Just hold on. I will switch to, yeah. I have no idea what kind of a policy they. Yeah, you see, when you have, I think that their policy is that when you have one student, then probably it will be for 1 hour. And when you have more than one student, then it is only 40 minutes. So you see, it's kind of a different. But I think that this is enough for today. I think that it was a really good class. Thank you so much, and hopefully I will see you next class, okay?
Yeah, thanks.
All right.
I will not attend the next class.
Okay, so have a good weekend. Bye for now.
Yeah, bye. Thanks.